Hello and welcome back everybody to Don't You Forget About Me. Hi Josh, hi Sam, how you doing? Josh, I imagine this will be one of the few videos that you managed to watch because it is a summary of last season video. So, in that vein, let's summarise what happened last season, just for Josh. We finished 6th, which is one place lower, although we think we were something like 14 points less, 13 points worse off. We just lost a crap ton of games. The season before, we lost 8 games. Last season we lost 15, conceding 57 goals along the way, putting us very much in the mid-tables in terms of how much we conceded. Luckily, we somehow scored 73 goals, so who knows. We also went through some big changes in terms of the fact that we are now a club who wins things, including so we've been runner-up in the Europa League, we've been runner-up in the Championship, we came runner-up in League One, we did actually win League Two, so yay. And now we've won the FA Cup, the English FA Cup, last season's final, Swindon't versus Forest Green Rovers. It was an epic event. 2 goals for us put us through 2-0, I believe. And we got knocked out of the Europa League by, who was it? Was it Roma? They knocked us out on away goals. We drew 3-3 at Swindon and then drew 1-1 at the Stadio Olimpico. Anyway, what that means is we now see ourselves with a brand new dawn against the Premier League and every team in it. We are Swindon and we will try and push up into the top 4 spots this season. I have decided to carry on, obviously. I was convinced myself, sort of. Anyway, I was excited to start with the Belarus thing, but I thought, no, you know what, I'm going to do the Swindon thing. They're going to win the Premier League and then we will move on. Joining us this season in the Premier League are Newcastle, Huddersfield, and who was the other team that came up? Was it Charlton? Yes, it was Charlton. So we've got a few familiar faces. It looks pretty Premier League-y up here at the moment, except for the potential Bradford, Forest Green additions. But yeah, now look. We've got, obviously, because we won the FA Cup, we've got to play the Community Shield against Arsenal, who absolutely dominated the league last season. So it doesn't mean that I hold that much hope, but you never know, they might still be on holiday. But what that does mean is we can look at the transfers that we brought in. This is Sam's favourite bit. So we've lost some favourites. We've also lost some people who you don't really care about, but we'll go through them all. We sold Zakaria Bukris for 1.5 million to Forest Green Rovers. They have loads of money. He's gone there and he is being paid he's not being paid loads, but he's still being paid a lot more than he was being paid at Swindon. We then finally got rid of Neil Brookfield, 30 years old, decent still, but slow, not good enough really for the team as things stand. He's gone away for £1 million to Boston United, basically our feeder club at this point. Then one of the bigger names to leave, Philip Riedel. He's out the door, 33 years of age. He's still very good. You can see that he is good. There's no question about that. 6'5", so I love it. But he's old and he wasn't performing very well last season, so out the door you go, fella. Speaking of out the door, fairly ambitious Felipe. One time, he's so good. Okay, I should have kept him as a centre back, but anyway, he's gone. £5 million to Wolfsburg. That was a stupid decision. You can come at me, bros. Czech Tom's also gone, 1.5 million to Fiorentina. He never really found a home in Swindon, so best to see him out. Then we've got a few players going on loan before we go back down to a firm fan favourite, Jean-Jacques Pelletier, out the door for 5 million. So we actually made a profit on him. He never got as good as he threatened to become when he was he 17 when we signed him? He looked basically the same as he was then, which is disappointing. So out the door he goes to Cardiff for £5 million. We then got Łukasz Kuzniarz out the door on loan. I think they paid some money for him to go on loan. Yeah, £875,000. He didn't play for us very well. He didn't really play at all last season because he was always homesick. I'm hoping that if he goes away, gets a few games, when he comes back, he'll be a bit more improved. We then sold Marc Bourgault, the stalwart left back. Since we came to the Premier League, we sold him, even though he's nearing the end of his career, we sold him for a big profit, £1.6 million, to Stuttgart in the Bundesliga. And that's because we've replaced him, but you'll see that in a minute. Speaking of players who have gone out the door, Jürgen Becken has left. He's very functional, not great in the air, and he was a good player for us. He never scored loads of goals that season. He did very well in that season. He was fairly consistent. Last season he didn't do that well, and the opportunity to get £7.5 million of profit out of him was too good to be true. And then a couple more players leaving on loan. But so that's 25 million out. We've actually made more money than we spent. 24.5 million has been spent on incoming players. A couple of those are youth players. Robin Hrustic came in from, I think, Academica for 100k. Nick de Griezer came in for £150,000 from Bruges. That was actually at the end of last season. Then we've got a couple of the big boys coming in now. All right, so the next player, £14.5 million, Fausto Montufar. He's really good. Come at me. He's going to be great. He's already scored some excellent goals this pre-season. He's got like 17 on long shots. It's nice. Then Jeffrey Strootman coming in from, I think, Roda JC. Yeah, and they offered him to me for £2 million. He's excellent. So he comes. Not brave, but he's coming in to do a job, and that job is just got some goals. £2 million. That's why we got rid of Jürgen Becken. And then now the reason we got rid of Marc Bourgault is because we signed Manuel Echenique, who is excellent. He's very physical, great at defending, nice stuff. He's fairly, I mean, he's not great. For some reason his off the ball is atrocious. Let's get him training that now. But he's a very good player, and he will do us good. He's got a strangely sort of surprised, his eyes seem to be sort of on the side of his head there. A little bit of a fish about him, but anyway. So the squad is improved. Padilla has been on absolutely irresistible form during pre-season, so it puts me in good mood. Oh, and one last thing before we go into our Community Shield game. Let's just look at the fixtures. We have still got to qualify for the fucking Europa League, but we are playing Stade Rennes, who last season, sorry, let's just go this way instead, who last season finished, so they're currently 19th in the league, that's after 2 games. Last season they finished 14th. So how did they qualify for Europe? I don't understand. Did they win a cup last year? What year was it? 2050. French Cup. Yeah, they won the French Cup last season, beating Le Mans, who are equally bad. So wow. Well, there we go. Anyway, it is what it is. Dawson Oksoy is unable to play, so obviously we will bring in Rui Costa. We can have 7 substitutes in this game. Good. Okay. Let's do it like this then. Well, hang on. Lloyd Wilmot instead. Oh, wait, look. Oh, man. Brain workings. No, I don't want Ben Collins. Stop it. Who's he? Right, let's do it like this. Do. Wilmot instead of... let's let Strootman play. Fall, Lavaux, Serapio, Jair, Echenique, Said, who's got 1 year left on his contract and wants to re-sign, but only for £99,000 a week. So I'm hoping that halfway through the season he might change his mind. Martins, Montufar, and Fall, and we have Branfilov and Gilic on the bench, who can now both play right wing, which is nice. We don't have a left winger though, so let's bring Novotny in, and let's do that. It's a nicely rounded squad. I feel like we might have got rid of Felipe without really looking at his stats before I did that. Just having decided to bomb him out and then not being flexible enough to go and look at him again. But fine, whatever. You know, that's a staple of my Football Manager career. Wolfsburg will benefit from it, and we will just have to deal with it. Great ball through from Montufar straight away. Strootman after 21 seconds. It's not really his competitive debut, but certainly a semi-competitive debut. Swindon Town are 1-0 up against Arsenal at Wembley. Strootman scores. Montufar's great ball through. It's already looking like a dangerous partnership. Although I have a feeling they're not playing their best team. Good number 13's in goal. Jordi Fertut. And he's excellent. They were trying to sell him earlier on in the season. I did try and buy him, but it was a lot of money for a goalkeeper who's basically the same as Dorso Naksoy. So I thought, nah, black leather, bloody turncoat, off to Arsenal, as they all end up doing. I have some coffee now, but you just don't mind me. Costa hasn't come on as well as I thought he would do. He's actually older than Aksoy by a few months or maybe a year. He's just not improving at the same rate as Aksoy is, and I know Aksoy plays a lot more, but I think Costa gets a decent amount of games. It's a great finish, but it is offside. So I'm thinking about getting in. Someone did try and buy him for a couple of million, but I thought, well, there were a bunch of so you can always tell what the game thinks you're lacking in by, obviously you can ask your scouts and stuff, but by going to the transfer rumours and seeing what kind of player you're linked with. Oh, it's a great ball through. Unlucky. Seeing what type of player you're linked with, and throughout the summer we've been linked with free goalkeepers, as in like players with no contract who play in goal. The best of whom is a guy called, I think, Jeffrey Kone, who's been sort of basically every single one of the big clubs has been touted as in for him at some point during the summer. But we consistently link with him, and I would be tempted to get him in. But the thing is, I suspect he will cost a lot more money to just to have around the place compared to Costa. He is better than Costa though, but he's not going to get any better. So if I could, I'm just thinking if I could get him in. That's a great ball. Padilla's through. Padilla's scored. It's 2-0. We are being beaten quite handily. Where's the possession? No, we're not actually. Okay, so yeah, we're doing all right. 2-0 up, Swindon Town. Surprisingly, just to finish the thought off about the goalkeeper. Yeah, I'll go back in and have a look at how good he is and see if I can work out the finances of that deal. Whether or not there's any point doing it, or if we can just stick with Costa at the moment. Just to talk about the fixture, Swindon Town versus Arsenal has a history. The League Cup final in '69, where Swindon won 3-2, and here we are again. We're going to get our third. Strautman scores. It's 3-0. I mean, nobody cares about the Community Shield, but still, wow, very, very nice. And yet, despite the fact that Swindon have never actually been in the FA Cup final or have won the First Division, Swindon have once played in the Community Shield. I think they got beaten 8-0 by Man United in something like the 1910s. I'm just going to Google that whilst we watch this here. Community Shield, Swindon Town. Yeah, the match was played on the 25th of September 1911 between Manchester United, winners of the 1910-11 Football League, and Swindon Town, winners of the 1910-11 Southern League. And the final score was 8-4. Oh wow, Vasic has absolutely spaffed that wide. Not great goalkeeping from Costa there to push it back out in front of the striker. But we got away with it. 3-0 at half-time against Arsenal. I mean, this is the best team by far in the country last season. They got 99 points, I think. They're doing excellently well. He weren't that bad. We've had an interesting pre-season. I played mostly teams from, in fact, entirely teams from Europe, with an eye to our Europa League campaign. Not the gooder ones, dear me, not the better sides, but teams like not the gooder ones, idiot. Sides like Red Bull Salzburg and Liberec and other sort of middling Europa League teams. I wanted to give us some chance to do that without, to improve against those teams. Oh, Strautman, no. I think his name's probably Stratman. Anyway. Go on, give it. And the ball's crossed in? No, okay. And we beat all of those teams fairly comfortably. We had a little bit of a trouble against Salzburg in the first half. I think it was 0-0, and then we beat them 5-0 in the second half. There was a game where Wilmot scored 4. Like we've been free scoring and not too bad at the back either, which gives me hope. Although it does seem to be I have noticed that the last couple of seasons we've played, we just don't. We've done that before. Basically, we started well in those kind of preseason games, had the first couple of league games go well, and then just sort of slowly regressed to a disappointing place. Now I'm going to get Jonathan to play that. He is still training at right back, which was commented on by Sam when he was watching the videos from the end of last season. He's slow at learning it. He's still kind of ineffectual, but he is getting there and he's getting better. So that's good. Other teams are still in for him. I decided I wouldn't sell him. I use my brain for him, just not for fairly ambitious Felipe. Because really what we should be having is a centre-back pairing of Felipe and Serapio, or Felipe and the Van Rethy, the Belgian. But we'll see. You know, it is what it is. We've got Martins now, who's really come on and is really stepping up to that midfield defensive midfield role, vacated so callously by Blackler not so long ago. Periconi continuing unopposed, but you get great tracking back there from Vladimir Branfilov. A lot of our players have had interest in them. We've not had any major bids for the bigger players. We did have Gilic has been subject of a few transfer attempts, but nothing has managed to come of that, which is good. I'm very happy about that because he's really good. And now that we have Montefar, he, like Gilic, can sort of play a little bit less but make more of an impact, because he didn't seem to do greatly well when he played a long run of games, but he does have the occasional stunningly fantastic goal in him, so maybe that will help him. Chiedzodzi, Martins. The Slovenian leagues are a mine of young Nigerian talent this year. I don't know if they always are, but certainly... Oh, it's a dodgy goal from Kaiser. A defensive tackle put the ball into his path. Yeah, well, you know, you can't have everything all your own way. They have been much better in the second half. We've not been quite so dangerous. I think the changes we've made may have interrupted our flow a little bit. Serapio, he's tackled. Was that guy called Contreras? Good name. Arveladze. We were also in for a couple more players. So we've got 3 young prospects in the youth team who are looking really good. They're all looking decent, but there are 3 who look like they could be first team starters within a year, and they're all about 17. So they're looking excellent. And I'm trying to bring in a couple more players to just sort of add to those. Players who are young but could come through into the first team in the next couple of years. Bracket. So there you go. Swindon Town have won the oh god, what's it even called? It's such an impressive and important competition. The Charity Shield. It's not called that anymore. Community Shield. History, past winners. Look at that. Swindon Town have won it. Weston-super-Mare had the lowest attendance. Weston-super-Mare versus Swansea. Nice. When was that? That was back then. Oh, we lost as well. That was me in charge and we lost it. Poor. Let's go back down there and see where the Swindon result is. There it is. 1911. Swindon Town lost 8-4 to Manchester United. But yeah, there you go. So we've won another thing. Wheatland's name on Swindon lips. It's a weird sentence. Don't like it. Sounds odd. Stratman makes his Swindon Town debut. Jeffrey Stratman. I don't like that name. It's not nice. What information about you? What? Level Jeff. Levhead. No. Dutch Jeff. Jeff. Just call him Jeff. Interaction. Set next to him. I'm not going to put the question mark in. Just Jeff. So Just Jeff makes his Swindon Town debut. I like it. It's good. Let's just see if that's effective. See, I'm very much in this for the power trip. I'm still only a favoured personnel. I've won a lot of stuff for this club. Simon Cox played for the club for 2.5, 3 years. He's an icon. So yeah, cool. Anyway, how long have we been recording for? Let's just check. 19 minutes. Okay, we've got time to play another game. I wasn't sure how long the squad overview would take, but actually we only signed about 3 players, so it's not so bad. You will see probably the inner workings of my negotiating skills, because I think we're going to get some. Yeah, there you go. We've got two of these guys. So we're in for this guy Nicola Peña, the 18-year-old Peruvian from Slovan Liberec, who he's one of those players who could almost be a centre-back striker. He's supposed to be almost as good as Serapio. I can't seem to get them to accept a bid for him, though, so I'm going to just get another report card on him. I'm not going to go too much higher than that. Anyway, the other guy is this guy, Nahul Brunet. He's good. He's 18. He's supposed to be as good as Musa Fall, who is that good. So, yeah, I think that's probably likely. We've had a £2 million bid accepted for the lad. Let's get the fella through the door. Not on that much money, though. We'll give you 7. Let's say 7.7. Give you a decent goal bonus. Why are they all so weird numbers? I don't like it. Let's see. Do you like that? You still want £10,000. Let's go for 8.5. I see. What if you said big team? Are you fucking serious? Alright, 9,000. Okay. I don't want to lose you. Let's go like that. Let's go like that. He won't score that many. None of our wingers never do. Okay, so let's get in the brunette. He will almost certainly fail his work permit, so that means that we don't have to worry about that anyway. I was telling Sam off of these videos, we were rumoured to be in for 5 or 6 absolutely sensational players, and it was of the kind of calibre that it was like Swindon Town and Manchester City are interested in this player, and then I would put in a bid for 1.2 million, which is about as much as they're worth, and then Manchester City would come in with a bid of 32 million, and no surprises, Manchester City signed one of them, Chelsea signed the other. I think someone else went to one of the big European sides. See, this guy, Jordi Fatut is looking to get out of the club. Could I get him in? How much is it? 6 million. Is that worth it? Peña, attributes, this is him again. So they think I can actually sign him for 4 million. And he's going to be not quite as good as Serapio. No, I don't think. Okay, if he comes back, I won't offer him. Hans Gruter. I'll just take a little bit of time to look through some of these players. Pim Roos, that was a nice name. Rafael from Palmeiras, he's not worth that. Turgeman, he's 32 with a lot of caps for Israel. Benyat Ibarra, he's a player that I was looking at, except that he's not that good. Because they say, there's a lot of players where they say they're going to be really good, and I just don't see it, him being a clear example. This guy's for free. I think he's better than Rui Costa already. You have to say probably, except for aerially, he's fine. What do we have in terms of his better than Dusan Oksoi? Okay, so let's scan him again because that's an old report. The Europa League squad now. Okay, so now you can watch me do. So Oksoi is under 21 registered, so that means he doesn't need to be registered. That's good. Now let's get in. Let's go make sure we get absolutely every player we want. We'll leave Alberto out for now because it's only these 2 games. Paulo Perez is now a homegrown player, which is nice. That's too many players. Too many players. All right, let's take out. We don't need Ortega. Okay, there you go. Ortega's the worst of the right backs we've got, or the right/left backs we've got. Squeaky chair is back. I actually listened. The recording when it gets uploaded doesn't sound as bad as it does. Oh yeah. Okay, so Braga want to take Martin Makacek. He's very good. He's one of the young players who I think will end up being first team player level next season. I think if he goes on loan to Braga, that's not a bad idea. Yeah, go for it. Go and prove yourself. Gomes is probably not going to get... Oh, he's another one. So, Andrej Gomes, 17 years of age, looks decent. I'm getting him in for £900,000. Almost certainly not going to get a work permit, but he's a similar type of player to Garay, so that's nice. Okay, I'm going to leave Pena then. I'm not paying $4 million for him. He's not that good. There's no need to have myself over a barrel just to get some shonky Peruvian. We've already had one dodgy Peruvian player who it took a long time to come good. So yeah, it's been a fun off season. I was actually trying to sell Saeed because he's got only 1 year left of his deal. He's not the best player in the world. Well, I mean, he's really good, don't get me wrong. But he is expensive now to keep in terms of his wages. So £5 million we could get. So do we replace Dusan Oksoy with Jordi Fatut? Where's his name? I mean, Fatut is he's better in every way. But he's older. No, he's actually younger as well. Ooh. That's a big call. Let's make a cheeky bid. That's the kind of weird deal that you can sometimes get off of these idiots. Or we could get Lopez in for free, who's not as good but may end up being as good. I've been offered this Moreno guy. See, the game really thinks we need a goalkeeper because we're being offered goalkeepers left, right, and centre. Okay, the League Cup. What's happening here? We've got Championship Everton. Should have been Championship Liverpool last season, as you'll remember, I'm sure. But it wasn't. Dear. Peterson. Too many cooks. There was another centre back that I nearly signed. He was absolutely fantastic, but he wanted too much money for the wage structure we currently have in place. Perez has made his first Argentina cap. He said it was because of me, and it's true. And Pena got sent off against Peru for Peru. So sorry, mate. He what? What? After a shameful dismission and wonderful performance in Peru. Okay, so he did well, but he must have been sent off in his previous game before that. England got knocked out in the World Cup. France won it. It was a fairly dull final. I think it was France-Portugal in the final. But the semi-finals were France, Russia, Portugal, and I think South Africa or something like that. There was some strange... a couple of teams that you wouldn't expect to be in there anyway. Look, maybe let's just say we'll sell him at the right price and see what that does, because he is great, right? He is great, no questions, but he's on a lot of money. Set transfer status. I want 20 million for him. I still want 20 million for him. That's fair enough. Brunette. Artur Gusev. Oh, this guy as well. I'm trying to sign him on a non-contract basis because he was on a free. I thought, yeah, why not? He's apparently supposed to get as good as Padilla. I doubt he'll be able to come, but we'll see. So they want 6 million for Fatut. We only have 6 million left. Perez is also saying thank you to his manager, which I think is probably more fair enough. I didn't really do anything to get him the cap. Makacek. See, because the other thing is we could keep Makacek. Machacek is probably Machacek. Let's delay that for a week, because if we do sell Saeed, we could then have Machacek as the backup left mid, and then he will definitely progress and come on a lot more. We've got ridiculously good training facilities. I over the summer I asked again for a new stadium. They said no, we don't see that the fan base wants it, even though we've packed out the packed out the... Oh, okay, so we're getting Gomes. Where was the thing about Saeed? Can we try and offer him out? Where was that? Probably gone past it. This might seem mad, but let's go offer to clubs. 15 million. See what we can get. He's got 120 caps for 125 caps for Egypt. What was I saying about? I can't remember. They still want 6 million for this guy. 6.5 million. Oh yeah, so they wouldn't give me a new stadium. They said there wasn't the fan clamour for it. But we'll be working hard these early fixtures. Probably Arsenal. They're excellent. So I was saying, I've forgotten again what I was saying about. What were they saying? No. Oh, they got Gusev as well. Okay, Indycam then, fella. What the fuck was I talking about just a second ago? About players and football. Oh man, this is so embarrassing. Really, this is genuinely poor brain usage there from the Wheatlinster. Well, never mind. We'll never know what it was that I was trying to talk to you guys about. It probably wasn't anything interesting or useful knowledge for anyone. We'll just move on. Let's just move on, guys. Let's just move on. Okay. Oh, offers made. So none of them are of the level that we wanted. So reject all. Okay. No. Offer's not good enough. 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 Genuinely trying to remember what the hell it was I was talking about, but I've completely forgotten. Can we get Fatut in? That was the problem with one of the other players that I had. They wanted a massive yearly bonus. And I just was like, well, no, fella, actually. See, like him again. He wants this stupid... Let's get rid of that and try again. I can't give you that fee. It's ridiculous, man. Right. Let's leave in the minimum fee release. There you go. Okay. We'll see if we get Fatut then. That'd be nice. Yeah. There you go. All right, I'll let you go then, you dickhead. All right, so there you go. Looks like we're getting rid of Saeed then. You got to see that in motion there. I think it's probably better for the club if he goes and we get some money for him. And we didn't get Brunette. That's annoying because he's supposed to be good. No, I'm not going to bother. He's just some idiot anyway. 18s, there you go. I genuinely have no idea what I was talking about, and it's annoying me. It's really annoying. It's upsetting. Everything is upsetting. I don't care about the Johnson's Paint Trophy first round draws. Here we go then. Bradford City, the first league game of the season. Leicester have drawn against Arsenal, which is a big result. Arsenal didn't draw very many games last season. They were a very, very strong side. So Dusan Aksoy comes in, possibly for his only appearance of the season, if we get in Mr. Futet. Let's bring Novotny here. Let's actually drop... Let's go over here. Where is... Makacek is... Why is he... He's playing in a different game. Why can't I just put him into the... If I put him into the senior side, will that change that? No, he's still not able to play. Fine. Okay, fine. Savinovs actually has been getting a lot of attention. He's still not that good, but he's been getting a lot of attention. We were talking about the facilities, and so I said to them that I wanted to expand the stadium. They said no, there isn't the fan. Yes, we've already said that. So I got upset. Then I said I wanted another coach, and they were like no. And I said, well, I don't know if I can continue my job. And they were like, okay, well, bye then. And I was like, no, I like it here really. And they said, okay, you can stay, which was embarrassing, despite the fact that my job status was untouchable. And then I asked them to upgrade our youth and training facilities. and they accepted both. But our training facilities are like world class. Our youth facilities are average, I think, which is possibly why some of the younger players don't progress as well as I hope they would. But the actual training facilities for the first team are really, really good. So it's a good thing. It means that once the players get into the first team, their training should theoretically help them improve as players. That's one of the reasons why I was asking for more coaches, is because I thought, well, if they're that good, is that Bower's the player that we used to have? Where's he gone? Brewer, Barlow, probably a dickhead. Brewer, Bennett, Yunwung Hee. I tried to sign it. There was a really good. So Leicester had this centre back. He was, I think he was Korean, but he's English. So he's Korean English. Go on, just Jeff. 1-2-4. No. So there was this centre back who got released by Leicester, and I was trying to sign him because he would have filled a quota basically. For an English homegrown player, and he was a decent centre back, but he didn't want to sign when he was still at Leicester, and then his contract expired, and he did want to sign. But I thought, well, you can't be that picky, mate. You have to want to come to Swindon Town here, which is one of the reasons why I don't like that Saeed is moaning so much. Like, he wants to go to Genoa. We gave him an FA Cup. Oh, did that say Musa Fall's injured? Oh no, just Jeff is injured. No, Musa Fall is hurt. Oh dear. Well, see, this is the thing though. Like, now just Jeff is injured. He's almost certainly out for the whole season or something stupid. Novotny crosses, which is typical considering he just did so well in his debut. I had this exact same thing. This has reminded me of a save where I was Stevenage manager, and I came up to the Premier League. And the first season we did okay, we survived, unlucky Padilla. And in the second season we signed, God, what was his name? There was like a Nigerian striker who was plying his trade in Russia for CSKA Moscow. And I signed him, and he came in and he was absolutely sensational. We played like the first 5 games of the season, he scored in every single one. He scored a hat-trick against league winners Arsenal. And then just against some random other team, he got injured and was out for a year. When he came back, he was not the same player, and like all of my investment was ruined. And it was so annoying because it's like you work so hard to find a striker who actually is a Mads Pedersen level great striker. Oh, nicely worked. And then the bugger gets injured in his first couple of games. You're like, no. But yeah, so there you go. And as Stevenage, you can't be flashing the cash around. Anyway, that's been a very boring first half of football because I told you a story about a former game, as you can tell. Far from pleased. I'm starting to take a leaf out of Sam's book with the being harsh on them when they're not doing well, because I feel like it motivates them a bit more. Quite often last season we would come out. Okay, I didn't want to jinx that then. I was going to say we would come out storming and we would score very early on in the second half after a rocket was fired up their bums. But it doesn't seem to have happened this time around. 46 minutes seemed to be a popular goal-scoring time for us last season. But whatever, oh dear, they are really... Oh, man. See, Bradford are top of the league with this stupid formation. Musa Fall's injured. Well, we're not doing well. I hope Saeed doesn't come on and change it round. Stratman, just Jeff got injured, which is typical. Bloody typical. I'm going to get a cup of coffee after this. Let's not lose. Like, this is exactly the kind of game that I thought we would now be able to sort of impress ourselves upon a little bit more. Saeed, what are you going to do with it, fella? Out to Branfilov, to Wilmot. Wilmot hits it past the post. That's unlucky. Branfilov's good for a pre-season wonder strike. So last season he scored one from out here. This season he scored one from here that flew into the top corner. It was beautiful. I don't know why it is that he can't ever do that during the actual league campaign. But certainly he enjoys the pre-season. That Barlow guy, dickhead. Brewer, Bennett, heads across. Wormger, it's gone out. Wilmot keeps it on. He does, and he's gone past the young man. Wilmot to cross. Wilmot to cross. Oh, goes to Boers. Boers or Brewers, I think his name is. That was an uninspiring attempt. Oh, come on. This is poor. This is poor. Just saying, guys, this is poor. Being schooled by... I think it might be the formation that's struggling us. We often have trouble against this kind of formation. Just in terms of they're able to get the ball and then keep it ahead of our players rather than the other formations where they're a little bit more in amongst our players. Here they are getting the ball back here and then able to just keep it and work it around our players because of the shape of their team. I think I'm not a tactical master wizard, tactical grand wizard, but I am at least a little bit knowledgeable about these kind of things, and I think that's what's happening, because usually we don't see this little of the ball against weaker teams, and they are a weaker team. They finished something like 13th or 14th last season, so there's no doubt about the fact that we are better than them individually. I think they have just out-tacticked us here. Man, they've been really much better than us. Have we even had a shot on target? No. But you can see there, the only difference is the finishing has been poor for us. So we've just created poor quality chances. They've created good quality chances. We could still come out of this with a draw. Wilmot to Said. Said puts it through to Padilla. Padilla, but we've still got it. And then Carlo Barlow. What a fucking stupid name. God. So we just absolutely dominate the best team in the league. Although, as we said, probably not their best team, but still. What was that? Was that a shot? Mike Bone. Stupid name. Jair. Big ball across. We've got to throw in. 5 minutes left. Can we nick something from this game? Which is a disappointing sentence I didn't think we'd have to say. Wilmot to Laveau. Laveau crosses. Padilla gets there somehow. Ahead of Bowers, but doesn't get it in. Unfortunately, hits it well wide. Padilla, absolutely sensational during pre-season. He was scoring goals where he takes it past 3 or 4 players and scores. And then, of course, we get against Bradford. Have we actually had a shot on target? No. 10 shots, none on target. And that's poor. That's really poor. We're doing all right in midfield. I mean, we're doing better. We just started very slowly. It's not like they... I mean, I'm not saying... Obviously, they didn't score in that first period, but they were all over us for that period of time. And then we've come back into things just too late to actually have a chance. Said clears out to Padilla. Padilla gives it to Wilmot. Could Wilmot score an undeserved late equaliser? No, but we did at least get a shot on target. The last kick of the game. Padilla and Wilmot. I mean, they had the chance there just at the end there. Who had a good game there? Echenike. He's going to have to be... He's going to have to be renamed as well because I can't say that name. Okay, right. Well, that's the end of that. I will be back almost immediately because we're going to play the 2 legs of the Europa League qualifying games against Rennes, or Stade Rennes, whatever they call. That was the guy, Nedko Yanchov. I wanted to sign him. Obviously you wanted to sign him. £29 million. Cool. Alberto is back, which is nice. Let's just do this press conference. Randy Bowers. What a stupid name. I don't want to talk about him. What's it? Yeah, cool. Okay. All right. So I'll see you in the next one, guys. Bye.